I am the best mentor because I am living the dream, and I want to take you on this journey so that I can help you to achieve the successes that you know that you can and you will achieve. Let me help guide you and show you all the things that I have done to get me to where I'm at now. I want to give you a brief backstory. 14 years ago, I was homeless. I was diagnosed with a really bad pregnancy and I had a whole bunch of complications. Long story short, I was hospitalized and bedridden for 8 months. During the course of time, bills pile up. You got to pay for your house, you got to buy groceries, things happen, right? I became homeless after that illness and I was so stupid and dumb. And I worked in a company that had no benefits of any kind. So once I started having issues, they didn't care. Whatever, on to the next person. And I wish I would have had a mentor at that age to guide me and to put me in a location where I wouldn't have been in such a sad place. If I would have had a mentor for so many different little things in my life, maybe my life would have gone a little bit easier. But you know what? I slowly did. I found people here and there and ideas, and I read all the self-help books. I watched all the videos, read all the blogs, but it wasn't until I met some really key important people in my life that really got me to where I needed to be and to help me stay and to be. And now look at me, 14 years later, I am textbook perfect on my health, which is amazing and a miracle, and I thank God for it every day. But not only that, I have worked hard and hard and hard every day. And look at this beautiful business that I have made. I was able to leave my full-time job 3 years ago, and I have ever since been working for myself every day. And the joy that I get and my successes, and of course, owning a business is hard. There's nothing about passive income. It's all hard. But I have gone through all of the ups and downs of the roller coaster of having a business, and also at the same time being an artist, because that comes for my business. My artistry is more first, and then my business comes second, and is the way in which I am able to fund my art. So it goes hand in hand. And yes, I wish I could just be in the art studio creating all the time and not worry about it. But at the same time, I am a mother and I need to pay the mortgage. I need to pay the car payment. I need to buy my art supplies. So I created this business to help me. And let me tell you what, the joy that I have being my own boss, that I don't have to slave and slave and slave just to make somebody else rich. Oh, that's nice. I mean, if my daughter needs me, okay, whatever. I can go and deal. I don't have to go and deal with somebody else, right? And I mean, I'm still working, okay? I'm still building what I have. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that everything is, I'm not going to be your fairy godmother and do all the work for you, because that's not how it was in my journey. I did have to work, and every day I still do. I put in a lot of hours. Every single social media account that you see, I created it and I maintain it. So when you get a message from one of the social media platforms, you're directly getting a message from me. And I know that you've been paying attention and you've seen that I put in so much work. And this beautiful website that you see, I built it. It was like total girl power on this one. I mean, there was a few times I had to read blogs and figure it out and go through the whole step. And it's taken me several years to be able to build this website and to get it the beauty that it is now. And I still constantly, as new ideas arise, I put them into effect. And I have so many things that I do in my daily life, the week, the year. There are so many different ways I go about doing what I do to achieve the success I have. And I'm not doing this mentoring to make money. This is not like a side hustle for me or me just trying to, play the game. No, this has everything to do that one of my mentors told me, and she said, you need to pay it forward and to help the next one in line and to just like the song says, you know, we've all heard it. What is, I forgot the name of the song. Never lose your da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know the song I'm talking about, right? I mean, honestly, so this is my way that I am putting my time aside so that I might be able to help someone. I have, throughout the course of quite a few years now, I've been working on this dream for a very long time, and I have met some amazing people in some really prestigious museums. I have really fostered those connections, and every day, you know, I've created friendships with so many people, and it's such a shame not to be able to share what I have so that you might have success too. Now, with what I'm doing, I'm not accepting just anybody. I'm not just going to go, and it's not like I'm selling my relationships that I've made with museums and galleries and different things. It's not like that. Please email me a message. Let me see your work. I want to see what you're doing. And if I am inspired by what you're doing, I would love to take you on. I would love to mentor you. I'm only mentoring 3 people right now because I am very, very selective in my process. I'm not doing this for the money. This is just my way of trying to give back to the world. Now, the reason I am charging $100 is, I know, understand, it sounds like, oh my God, it's 1 hour for $100. No. I do code, I write my website, I do, you know, I call people, I am on the phone, I will advocate on your behalf. So that $100 for the one Zoom call, there's another extra 5 hours attached on there where I am calling people, I am doing things, I am working behind the scenes, and I will be your advocate. I will fight for you. Now, if you are thinking, I will just get a mentor and she's going to do everything for me. She'll build my website. She'll do my social media. She will create my art for me. She will talk to the customers, sell it to the customers, take the money, and then I just get a paycheck. No, that I am not for you. I am so sorry, but thank you for your time, and please move forward. There are many mentors out there that might be willing to do that. I have made many websites along the way. I have done a lot. So if you were looking for that kind of service, that is something else I offer. That's really more my side hustle. So my rate is $200 an hour, which is very super competitive. I've done the work, okay? I have gone shopping. I know what is up and what is down. So $200 for that is pretty good. And especially because I will put the quality of what I have with my code and my website and with what I have done, I will put that quality into it, but that rate is $200. But for me to mentor you and to give you the tools, like for example, I can make it really super simple and easy for you to understand how to build your own website. Because in the end of the day, I am a firm believer that you need to take control of your own website, because you know exactly the voice that you have and what you want to say to the world, and you can funnel it through me and all that. And that's great, you know, but it's not going to be truly your baby. And I want it to be your baby. I want this to be your journey. Your journey is not going to look identical to mine. I mean, it would be kind of awkward and weird if it did, right? But at the same time, I mean, I'm also not going to be there and tell you, oh, your art is so beautiful, just because I want you to pay for an hour session. It ain't like that. Because why? I had a lady in my life, and she gave me the truth. I mean, she would tell me when it sucked, and it was valuable to hear to not just be praised all the time, and to hear the truth. It helps me so that I can then go back into the studio, rework it, and then make what I was trying to say to the world a little bit better. And when I did that, and I worked and I worked and I worked, and I used her guidance, and well, I've had so many mentors over the course of my life, more towards the later part of my life. I mean, my parents were amazing parents, and they're amazing people. But you know, there's a difference, right? I mean, your mom and dad love you, but you know, sometimes I'm an artist, they're not an artist, so they couldn't really help me in the how to and do that. They climb the corporate ladder, which is amazing and which is totally great, but I understand it's not for everybody. It wasn't for me. But there always is that side, that back of being an artist. I mean, honestly, I'm in my art studio right now. I love my art studio. It's my safe space. But you know, the baby needs fed. You know, you got to put groceries on the table, you know, and if you can use your passion and your voice and creativity to get that done, I mean, how amazing to have that. And if you're doing it and you're in a block, because it's happened to me, let me tell you, okay, there are moments in time where I cry. I have my moments where I'm just like, I can't do this. Life is just so hard. I can't figure it out. And then I have moments of clarity. I pray. I am a Christian, so that is you know, and I have moments and I talk to people and I think, and then everything is figure outable. It really is. It sounds stupid. It sounds like it's not. But let me tell you, when I was in my early 20s, I knew like the bare minimum of computers to get me through college. And we're talking the early 2000s here. So like Google was just barely kind of a thing. Social media hadn't been invented yet. Like we were email and Word and like Excel, and that was it. So like I didn't really get like, how do I do this? And then like I went to college. I read all the books. I did everything they said. And like, you know, I feel I learned a lot. I did. It was a good experience. But it's the different when studying about business versus actually doing it. The actually doing it part was way different. And I mean, like the idea of I do my own taxes every year because I trust my math, and then I always have somebody double check it. But like, I don't need an accountant to do all that. I have ways in which I do things and how I itemize it on the paper, what I do with my, you know, there's ways. And when I do my taxes at the end of the year, it's literally 30 minutes because all year long I've been using these systems that I've created for myself that have enabled me to make math so much easier when I'm doing everything. And then like the laws are constantly changing every year with what you can write off, what you can't. And as an artist, these are things that I know if you're not trying to make money on this and you just want to be in the studio, it's great, you know, but honestly, it costs money, right? You had to buy all them art supplies, you know? And so there's so many things, and, you know, and I truly, honestly feel and believe that I have something that I can give to the world, and I feel that I can help. So when I do my Zoom classes, well, excuse me, not see the teacher in me, a painting teacher, but when I do my Zoom meetings, what I do is my first meeting, I am a firm believer of time is money. So throughout that hour, I don't want to be chit-chatting about the weather and all the stupid stuff that happened. No, I want to get straight to the point and be like, I mean, I'm personable, right? But at the same time, what are you having what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What would you like to see for your future? And then from there, I like to say, okay, well, here's what I did when I was there. And here's what I also did that sucked. And here's what I did that worked. And, you know, I'm going to give you the tools and the ideas. So kind of like a counseling session a little bit, but it's more of, not so much as here, I'm just going to let you sit on the couch and you whine and cry for me to an hour. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to be a therapist, an emotional support person. No, it's not me. I'm here to help you. So like, for example, if you were, let's say you create amazing art and you are really scared and timid to talk to customers, to talk to maybe art galleries, to museums. I've done it. I have literally, and I'm not exaggerating, which, I mean, I work so hard, and it's really nice that I have had my art hanging in almost well, all of the countries that are nice to the United States and are happy with the United States, I have literally had my art hanging in many different countries, in museums and galleries. I have sold paintings that were $10. I have sold them for $10,000. I mean, the range is in what it is and what I'm doing. Like, for example, I used to create these amazing, really beautiful, awesome paintings. And then I would try to be like, hey guys, look at my painting. Do you want a paint and sip class and party and we can paint this? And here I am having this painting that took me 10 hours in the art studio to paint. And then I'm trying to teach a class in 3 hours. And I noticed that it wasn't working. My journey, people weren't inspired. When I do these classes, they'd get frustrated, they'd get angry. And so I looked at what I was doing and I noticed, if I make things simpler and I teach my classes in a way that we're more learning techniques and ideas, then I can give more value to my students. And I had a mentor explain this to me, okay? I was totally blinded. I was thinking, I need to have the coolest, the best art out there in the world, and I will make tons of money and I will be a millionaire overnight. And it just, I was deterring students away from me. They would see my art and be like, oh, I can't do that. There's no way. And I was scaring them off. And I had a mentor tell me and say, look at what you're doing. And, you know, I had the best intentions. And so this is what I bring to the table when we have a Zoom meeting. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you, wow, that was so awesome. You did great. And nice, but, you know, maybe you could try a little harder, and maybe here's some ideas that can help you, and I can put you. And also with the people that I have that I mentor, everybody's on their own journey. For example, I have a woman right now that is in Washington, D.C. doing amazing, amazing things. And I have another lady that is a domestic violence survivor, just had a baby, he's in prison, and she didn't graduate high school. So I have both spectrums. And throughout the course of my mentoring, I've noticed we're all human. What the really rich lady has and fears are the same things, the same human needs that the poor lady does. And, you know, I have learned so much about life and mentoring by going through it and just living through vicariously through their lives and seeing what they're doing, what they're not. And when they have their successes, oh my goodness, that is just, it's like my success. Like, it just makes me so happy that I was able to then help somebody, and I just, so proud, you know? And also, everything I do is completely confidential, so I'm not going to be, oh, so-and-so said this, and oh my goodness, and can you imagine, right? I mean, like if you were going to kill yourself or like go and kill someone, then I mean, I guess I might call the authorities, because, you know, that would be really bad on my part if I didn't at least like help. But I'm not going to be telling people like about all your, no, what we discuss in our Zoom meetings are between us. You are welcomed to videotape them, take notes and all that. It is private, confidential. Now, I mentioned earlier, I do my own taxes and whatnot, all that stuff. I do want to mention a disclaimer. I did not pass the bar. I am not a doctor. I don't, like, you know, if you ask me questions about how to lose weight, I'm like, well, okay, well, I mean, I'm not the fattest person, but I want to disclaim it and just say that, yeah, I'm me, and I'm just going to help you to get where you're at. And whatever topics you want to discuss, that's up to you. I will come and I will be prepared. I'm going to, before we do our meeting, please send me an email so I can see your work, see what you're doing. And that way I can prepare myself for questions to ask you for different things in which I thought, okay, well, let's work on these topics. But at the beginning of the meeting, I want you to tell me what you're concerned about. Do you want to build a website? Whatever it is, are you having a problem with being in the art studio and taking care of the kids at the same time? How do you to balance? Because I'm doing it. I'm balancing, you know. And so if you need help with that, if you need help with bookkeeping, even if you just want help, like I studied all the arts when I was at the university. They made us do that, and I'm pretty grateful and happy that I did that. But I have found, for me, I receive the most joy when I'm painting. I feel it's my happy moment of the day. That's my, but I do all the arts. I mean, I'm even dancing. I'm doing all of the arts. I write poetry. I play music. I'm really into it. So if there's, I'm not stuck with saying I am only taking people who are painters. So, and even if you don't want to be an artist, I did try to climb the corporate world for a minute after my daughter was born. And I ended up finding out that working for a set dollar amount per hour does not motivate me. I have a really hard time staying focused and having energy. I noticed that the jobs in which I excel at are ones in which the more work I put into it, the more money I make. So basically a tip, idea, I like to be paid directly. I like to walk home with my money at the end of the day and not have to wait 2-3 weeks for them to send me a check. But I have done. I did work the corporate world and all those things, and I can tell you my stupid little things. Like, for example, I had one of my stories. I had this boss that fired my secretary because the company couldn't afford it, which I saw the books. I was able to, I'm not stupid. But at the end of the day, it really frustrated me because I already had a lot of things I had to accomplish that were expected of me. And then she was gone, so I didn't have my helper, and it was very hard. And so I did little things where I pretended like I couldn't figure out how to do a fax machine. Like, I kept pretending to break it every day. Long story short, 2 weeks later, they gave me my secretary back, and not only that, that quarter, we made more money than we had in the past 2 years. So I have done both. I get it. I totally get it, and I can help you into those ideas and the things. And I'm a mommy, so I've done it. I have been a single mommy. I have been a married mommy. Being single is so hard with a child. And just a brief backstory, my family, I was blessed to be born in a very loving home and a wonderful family. But once my grandma had passed away, all of the children had decided to push their dreams and to go see the world and do things. And so fast forward 20 years later, I literally have relatives that live in a lot of countries around the world. My closest relative is 2,000 miles away from me right now. And so as a single mommy, and it was very hard. It was really, really hard. I understand the meaning of superwoman, very difficult when you don't have that. And I had moved, and I didn't have like my friends from high school and the people that, I could count on. And when I became pregnant, I found my nearest relative 2,000 miles away from me. I made so many decisions and choices. I married the wrong man and got pregnant very shortly after, and he didn't feel it necessary to provide in any way, shape, or form. He wanted me to be the sugar mama, and when I no longer was able to do that and I got sick, he wouldn't pay the bills, he didn't do anything, he didn't help, and I couldn't. And it was the hardest thing going through a divorce. I mean, I cried a lot. It was very difficult for me. And I'm a Christian. I signed the contract, and I said, this is it for life. But you know what, though? Being able to let go and to continue has empowered me so, so much. I came home to the hospital, and I was homeless, literally homeless. I had no house. My car had gotten repossessed because the payments weren't being paid. I had nothing, and I had a baby, and I was so fearful that they would take her away because I was homeless. And I wasn't on drugs. I didn't do, everybody says all these things about how, oh, they're there because they meant to be there. I was just really stupid to sign up for a job that had no benefits, and I was so stupid that I didn't save a sufficient amount of money of living expenses to get me through the time. And my family was not able to help me at that time. And it was very difficult. And I suffered. And it was really hard. And I didn't do anything that I'm not proud of. I've never sold my body. I've never done anything that was considered illegal. I mean, geez, I barely take a Tylenol when I have a period. Like, I worked every job I could. Every job I worked and tried so hard to give her a beautiful home. And I was working the corporate ladder, and it was a hamster wheel, a complete hamster wheel. I was sending my baby to the babysitter. She was at Begin With Us at the time. Beautiful. I mean, the lady that ran the franchise, not so good. But, I mean, they're expensive. They're expensive. And, I mean, with infants, of course, as they get older, it's not as much as expense for the childcare. Gets a little cheaper. But when you have an infant, it's hard. So anyways, I don't want to diverge and make this into a really long video. I just want to be able to give you a backstory as to knowing and understanding that I suffered. I went through a lot of crap and I suffered. And then now I am married to the most wonderfulest man. I mean, wow, like I'm a Christian, and you know how they say that God has predestined things? I mean, this is the man of my dreams. He is above and beyond, I mean, the love of my life. We're going to be old people together. We're going to be the old couple in the nursing home together. And a lot of people like to say, oh, well, you built that company because he paid all your bills and you had a sugar daddy, and so you were able to stay home and do all these things, and it was because you had someone else, and it's like they just gave you a bunch of money. No. Part of the success that I had was I got my life in a good way before I ever met him. Before I met him, I was debt-free. I had a home. I had everything I needed. We lived beautiful. Everything was great. And not only that, I always make it a rule for myself that I will always have 2 years of living expenses. So my mortgage, my car payment, groceries, everything I would need to live for the month. I've always made it a rule to have, it's like mad money, I'm sure you've heard the term, to always have that in the bank so that in the event that the world falls down, because it did for me, just like bam, like that overnight, if I get into a car accident, I know that my daughter will have a home to live in. She will have groceries. I know that if it's going to take me a while to be able to get some more income because I'm paralyzed or whatever, something happens, I know that it's taken care of. And I don't want my kid to suffer in a homeless shelter and to go through misery. It was very hard with an infant, and it was so hard and took many years to be able to get out of the rut of being homeless, because I made money, but then I had to pay for a hotel. But then when you think of the math, and you're paying at that time, hotels, the motel was running, back then the average going rate was $45 a night. Well, when you're doing that and you're paying, then you got to pay to eat out because you don't have a kitchen. You're on another hamster wheel that, yeah, okay, I've got a job, I'm making money, but I've got to pay out. Versus if you buy a mortgage and you're able to get a loan and this and that, you can negotiate. And instead of paying the hotel fees every day that accrue and add up, you're paying a mortgage, and my mortgage is like $250 a month. Like literally next year, the house is going to be completely paid off. Like that's not, it's in my husband's name because I like to keep my finances separate, you know, we totally and everything. But my house is beautiful. I live in an acre. I have an acre of land. I have a 4-floor house. I have all of the amenities, and my house is beautiful. It is decorated nice. Everything's great. I live a very comfortable life. And if one day my man, whatever, and I'm out on the street, that's okay. I built an empire. I'll be fine. I got this. I mean, it ain't gonna happen, but I got it. You know, I'm good. I will live. And so the whole reason I'm telling you this, which is, it's a lot of, I mean, I've never been so personable like this in public to this extent, but I have gone the journey and done it, and I've gotten off the hamster wheel, and I'm doing it. I mean, some months are better than other months, but I planned, you know, that I'm okay financially, and some days I make a really bad, horrible painting and I'm like, oh, what happened? It was horrible. And then other days I make paintings that are just amazing and awesome, and I put them in galleries and people just love it. I started off, before I did galleries, I used to do craft fairs, and I started really small and I worked up and I worked up, and now that the more I worked up, I'm buying better art supplies now because I have more money that I can buy better quality stuff, which is then showing forth that my end result products with better quality paint, everything, they're just better, right? They're better, excuse me, and then I can just ask for more money for paintings. And I've gotten off the crappy hamster wheel, and I got myself into a lifestyle, and a lifestyle that I am happy. I wake up happy. I mean, now there's moments like I did end up getting the COVID, and that really sucked. And I was really, for like a month, I had a lot of grogginess and in the chest, a lot of fluid, and it was really bad. You know, so I do have moments in my life where life just doesn't, you know, it kind of sucks for a minute. But I have a healthy, beautiful daughter that loves me, that respects me, that doesn't treat me like garbage. I mean, everybody just loves her. She goes to get baby, well, I mean, she's 14 now, so we're going into the teen years, but people love to babysit her. She is a joy. She's got like all the neighborhood grannies just love her to pieces. Like, it comes Halloween, they just like hook her up with candies, and Christmas, and everybody's always, all the grannies are like, can she come with me go shopping at the store because I need help to help her get the groceries in my car. And my daughter is just the sweetest little angel. Now, she has her moments. I mean, she totally does. Everybody does. I mean, parenting is really hard, and you know, I'm kind of a first timer at it, and I don't have siblings, and I didn't grow up in an environment in which younger children than me were present. So I'm still figuring it out, and I'm still, you know, through the changes. And every time I think I figured her out, oh my goodness, she grows up just a little bit more, and parenting becomes that much harder. But you know what though? When that happens, I'm always reaching out for advice, for help, services and different things. I noticed that sports for her has really helped. The things and ideas, and I pay attention to the other mommies. And I pay attention, well, okay, well, look at what they did, and look at how their kids are. And I take those ideas. I feel that we're not perfect. People are not perfect, but I truly believe that everybody that is in our lives has something good about them that we can learn from, that we can take some ideas. What are they doing that's really cool? And then, you know, whatever they don't do, I just try to, okay, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, this idea, this principle is really good. So if you need help in that direction, I mean, let me. I mean, my kid's only 14, so I'm not dealing with like a 20-year-old here. But, you know, I feel my daughter is completely healthy. Like, when she was born, I was really sickly. I had, what do you call it? Toxemia, which is like you get preeclampsia, and then toxemia is like the really bad one. But I was diagnosed in my first trimester with toxemia. I had bypassed. I went right through to toxemia. And so I had the really hard one. So I was like bedridden, seizures, whole 9 yards, all that stuff and everything. And I did everything right. I did everything. I don't smoke. I don't do alcohol. I mean, maybe I'll have a glass of wine at dinner. But when I was pregnant, I I mean, I was exercising, I was eating my food groups, I was doing everything, I was sleeping. I mean, I was on it. And it just, you know, it's just one of those things, right? So I was told that my daughter was going to be disabled. She was born a month early, and I was having problems with seizures, and out she came, and the doctors, and thank God, they totally saved my life. But then I ended up, I mean, she was $100,000 medical bill, which I had no insurance at the time, and I was $25,000 just for being in the hospital for a week after the birth. Not that didn't count my other stuff, but anyways, what I'm trying to say here is they told me at the hospital that she was going to be a vegetable, that she was going to have lung issues because being more than a month early. They told me the worst of the worst. Fast forward, my kid is doing, she's at this community college, she's in high school, she's doing all that, and she did so good at the high school that she applied for a scholarship and got it, and because of her grades, her merit, everything had gotten her to where she is, and she is now doing HVAC in plumbing. And so she's going into a male-dominated industry. I mean, all boys in her classroom. She's gonna, but you know what though? She goes, Mommy, I want to be just like you and have my own business, so that way I don't have to deal with teachers and people telling me what to do all day. And I want to build really big buildings. And I mean, that was the best. So we're going to put her in other programs as well, but she is the best student in that class. The teacher is just like, whoa, okay. I mean, and it's not that we're pushing her. It's that I have been living a life, and she has seen, and she has been a part of my journey and the things that I do. And we have a routine every day, and I have fostered good habits in her, and she is excelling. By the time she graduates with high school, she's going to have 2 different licenses, well, 3. They're going to do the refrigeration, the HVAC, and then the plumbing. So she's going to have 3 licenses on top of a high school degree. And so I'm stressing out like, okay, well, that's a lot for a kid, right? And it's a lot, but no, she's able to do it. She's involved, and she is invested in her future. And I feel that it's because of the environment in which I've put her in to succeed. And I mean, that's amazing, right? And if she takes this and then goes after high school, then goes to college, and oh my goodness, right? I mean, we're the next CEO of who knows who, of whatever, then some skyscraper in Manhattan. And so I've decided to be a mentor because I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this kid grow up, and she's doing it. And now I don't have all the answers, okay? So I'm not God here. You know, I can't totally fix you. But I can show you what I have done to be able to get to this location and to be where I'm at now. And I see good things in the future. Who knows? I could die in a car. You know, my business could go under for whatever. I mean, there's so many. I mean, COVID took me out. I had my art studio in the mall over here, and then COVID hit in March, and they shut down the mall. And, you know, they said, oh, we don't care that the mall's shut down. We're still going to make you pay rent for the art studio. And I'm like, right? And I thought that was the end of my business. I really did. And then I thought, you know what? We have technology. I can bring what I'm doing on technology. So I've been able to transition, and I've been able to make this work. And it's almost was a blessing in disguise, because I have students all over the world. I have a bunch of ladies in Australia. I'm in Pennsylvania. A lot of ladies like me in Texas, California. I have a group in Chile that meets once a month. Wow, right? I mean, honestly, it is an art journey. I mean, I didn't set off to be an art teacher. I just wanted to do art. And then I realized I was in the art studio alone with nobody to hang out with. And, you know, it gets kind of lonely. And not a good, you know, you're by yourself, which could be good though. I mean, I've created some really good pieces. I normally do my more adult material during that time, and I've come up with some pretty cool paintings. You know, it's kind of awkward in a group setting, but you know what? They didn't care in college. When I did those classes and we did the, well, we would have the people and you would draw or paint or whatever, or sculpt, and there was somebody, and you know, it was part of the whole deal. But I prefer to do that in my own art studio. But I mean, just the fun and having the friends that I have gained through opening my art journey up and allowing others to come in and create with me as I'm creating. I have so many buddies now, and genuine. I have a lot of genuine friends that live all over the world now, and it's just so cool to see how they have progressed in their art, and then how and it's really nice to foster that. And so I would like to review your art and see what you're doing and see if it speaks to me and if I'm inspired, and you know, and I would love to, if I'm inspired by your work, I would love to introduce you to my friends and the people along the way that have, my mentors, and the people that have helped me along the way. And I mean, I know people, so like, I don't know, maybe one day we could probably hook you up a little bit and get you in the MoMA in New York, or I mean, there's so many different galleries that I've been with. And I mean, even if you're small, even if you want to do craft fairs, I mean, I have done like 1,000 craft fairs. I don't do them as much anymore. They're not as lucrative for me anymore because I have kind of grown up a little bit with my name, the popularity, that's something that at this time, it just doesn't make financial sense for me a whole lot. But I've been there. I mean, there were times where I had really bad days at the craft fair, and then there were days I did good, and you know, going through that experience really helped me learn how to talk to customers, which is a skill, right? That's a total skill. It just doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't, it's like, I fully believe that nobody is born an artist, and that it's something that we nurture and that we practice, and through practice and through going through the journey, we become what we are. Oh, you should have seen some of my paintings in high school. They really sucked. I was really bad back then. But I studied from so many people. And, you know, I still have a couple, right, that are but it's like I told you earlier, you know, sometimes you got to listen to your customers and you have to navigate the journey. And so that's the knowledge that I can pass on to you, is how to do that, how to get your voice out there and to do it in a way that it is authentic, that it is true, that it is beauty, that you can put those vibes out into the world and get them out. I mean, I have suffered through creator's block. I have, like, sometimes when I make my poetry, I have moments there where I'm like, ooh, I like the sound, but the words just ain't, I've suffered. I've gone through that, and there are so many techniques that I utilize that now, it, you know, it happens, but it doesn't happen like it used to a million years ago. Now I'm able to get into a groove, you know? So let me help you. Please send me an email with, how can I get a hold of you? Like, I want to see your work. Like, maybe send me some photographs of your work, or like your social media accounts if you have a website. How can I, or maybe if you have a place. Now, I am currently in central Pennsylvania, and due to what's going on with the environment right now, and my kids in school, so it's not like if you're in California, I can just get on a plane, right? I mean, I got the kid with me, and she's my goal right now, so that takes priority. So I can't just jump on a plane and meet you like that. But what I can do is I can meet you through Zoom. And you know what, though? Being a business owner, I can make my own hours. Like, honestly, I'm a nighttime person. It's nighttime right now. It's easier for me, right? But, you know, if you need me, call me and I'll be there. I mean, be realistic here. Give me the moment to like log on and everything. But like, that's the beauty of being your own business owner. I mean, but you know, sometimes it's scary though, because I have been known to be in moments where I just don't want to work. I mean, it's you know, sometimes you're just like, I'm on vacation every day, and then of course when the bills come due and you got to pay them, then you see the fruits of your labor. So I've been on both sides. I've done the circle. So let me help you. And, you know, if I'm not for you, thank you for taking a moment to watch this video. And I don't know, maybe somebody else you might know might be able to benefit from what I have and the knowledge that I have that I can pass on. So please help me to get the word out there. I mean, in the end of the day, that's kind of what it is, fostering a happy, healthy, wonderful environment, and also doing it with others so that we're not isolated and alone and all by ourselves. I did try that. Let me tell you, I actually did. I spent like a year of my time where I tried to create this business, and I wasn't accepting help from anybody, and I did everything. And I had my art studio and I had my classes and I was doing stuff, and I had my galleries all over. And I wasn't sleeping. I was being mommy and being work, and I was a workaholic, and I felt like everything in my life started falling down. And there was a moment where I was on the highway and my husband was driving, and I had a complete nervous breakdown. But he's such a great guy. He took me home. Everything's okay. I stepped back. I talked to people. I networked. I reached out to my friends, and I realized I wasn't on a good path. And my business, it was doing good, but it really, in the end of the day, it was suffering. And it wasn't until I reached out to my mentors and the people that motivate me in my life, I was able to get right back on track. So let me help you, and let's build this journey together.